Are you into Korean hip-hop? Korean hip-hop's been gaining popularity with shows such as Unpretty Rapstar and Show Me the Money. Frequent collaborations between Korean hip-hop stars and K-pop stars have also been more common. And Korean hip-hop's been gaining more popularity within the West. It was inevitable that Korean hip-hop artists would soon go West. And they did, with two labels, Illionaire Records as well as Ambition Music, coming over to the US for their first world tour, the Illionaire Ambition Tour. I had the honor of attending their very first show on the tour, the San Francisco concert. So we'll be taking a look at the invasion of Korean hip-hop through the Illionaire Ambition US Tour, while taking a look at how Illionaire Records became wildly successful by rejecting the K-pop model. The beginning of Korean hip-hop entering the US happened in the late 2000s. I remember going to an Epic High concert in 2009 in San Francisco, just when the Hallyu wave exploded. Seeing Tablo, Mithra, and Two Cuts live was just an awesome experience, and I knew from there that Korean hip-hop was slowly getting noticed overseas. From that 2009 Epic High tour, things have definitely changed in hip-hop. AOMG had a concert tour while rapper BeWhy came in 2017, and now we have the Illionaire Ambition Music Tour. Illionaire Records is made up of three people: Dokis, The Quiet, and Binzino, while Ambition Music is made up of Kim Hyo-eun, Changmo, and Hashwan. So let's get into some of the concert's trends, as well as how Illionaire Records deviated from the K-pop norms and became wildly successful. So the first thing I noticed was that the audience was an older crowd. Now hip-hop's known to bring a more mature, more older crowd, as the lyrics really come raw, and there's a lot of cursing. The F word was thrown around so many times in their songs, and there was a lot of drinking at the concert. And since I mentioned drinking, a lot of the crowd was over 21. The hip-hop scene's not really about the dancing, it's more about the rapper's flow, lyrics, meaning, and hyping up the crowd. And all this rawness, focus on the song, and de-emphasizing the dancing pretty much brings a more older, mature audience. Thus, I saw a lot of older college students as well as international students from Korea waving their hands like this throughout the show. The next thing I noticed about this concert is you better like standing and moving. There's definitely no sitting or VIP seats at this concert. It was pretty much a first come first serve standing spot throughout the concert. Water was sprayed on us using water bottles. There was a lot of hands waving up and down, and the audience was loud. Now some of you might think you don't like standing at a concert, that it hurts your feet and legs, and everyone becomes squished at the stand-only event. But the cool thing about the stand-only concert was that since you're closer to people, it's a lot easier to talk to people, especially if they're friendly. And the people I found out at this concert was very friendly and outgoing. The atmosphere at this concert, as well as many hip-hop concerts that I've been to in Korea, was really chill and relaxed. There was no fan wars, there was no obsessive screaming, and there was no glow sticks. Rather, there was a smattering of smartphones taking pictures of their favorite artists. And another cool thing I liked about this concert is that you got really close to the artists at times. At certain points during the concert, there was a lot of the front row fans that were pretty much an arm's length of Dokis or The Quiet or Binjino. And I too was so close to Dokis and The Quiet that I was pretty much breathing in the same oxygen zone as them. The next thing I noticed is Dokis is really good at English, really fluent. And I felt that in all the times that I've covered K-pop artists, whether I talked to them, I met them, or I interviewed them, they'll really surprise you with their English ability. While many of them don't speak English, and really why would they, because they live in Korea, there are several other hip-hop stars that speak not just good English, but fluent English, and it will totally surprise you. Some of these hip-hop artists, such as Binjino, studied abroad as a kid, or some of them went to a foreign language high school in Korea. But Dokis definitely fell into the latter, as he went to a foreign language school as a kid. Since Binjino didn't attend the San Francisco leg of the tour, Dokis was the only one that spoke English during the monologue times, and he was really just cracking jokes, asking how the audience was, and asking the audience if they would go to all of their shows in the US, which was pretty funny because everyone was like, no, I'm pretty much not gonna go to the other shows because it's too far or too expensive. So there was this real silence in the audience when he was like, yo guys, you guys coming to our other tours in LA or Atlanta? We're just like, now I don't tell many people the story, but I'm gonna tell you guys this story. Now Dokis holds a special place in my heart, and the reason why is quite embarrassing. Now I first found out about Dokis when I was a university instructor, long before I became a K-pop journalist. And during one of the classes that I taught, the topic was music. So I asked the class, who is your favorite singer or group? And as the class went around, they finally got to me and said, teacher, who is your favorite singer or group? And I said, one of my favorite singers is Dokis. And there was a lot of people smiling and laughing. And they're like, what, Dokis? So I looked up Doki on the computer, since my computer was attached to this big like projector so everyone can see. And when they saw Doki, or how I call them, Dokis, everyone started laughing harder. And all my Korean students were so embarrassed for me, but I didn't know why. Everyone just kept laughing. And I thought I was just like the funniest teacher at that time. And I'm like, what? What's going on? Is something on my shirt? Is something on my mouth? Did I say something funny? And then one student's like, teacher, it's not Dokis, it's Doki. Oh. And the whole class couldn't stop laughing for a good 5 minutes. So I was like, wait, so it's Dokis. So why does he have Dok02? Isn't it Dok2? And he goes, well, yeah, but E is 2 in Korean, so it's Doki. But he wanted to spell it like in a cool way. And I said, well, that's going to confuse a lot of people that don't know who Doki is. And they said, well, I guess in Korea, you just have to know it. That was my introduction to Doki, pronouncing his name totally wrong and having 35 university students laugh at you. But that's okay, because my students loved me even more for poking fun at myself. Or I think they loved me, but I'm gonna believe that they did. And thus, that's how I started to pronounce Doki's name correctly. Now, hip-hop's known to be about the lyrics, meaning, and flow. And much of the message of a hip-hop song is understanding it. But the question begs, what if you don't understand it? In this case, Korean. Although not everyone in the audience understood Korean, a lot of people still started jamming to the beat, to the music, and to the flow. Words like turn up, a phrase that Doki popularized back in Korea, put your mother effing hands up, or are you mother effing ready? I told you there was a lot of F words at this concert, but these are phrases that are universally understood. So with that being said, I'll say that understanding Korean is very important to understanding Korean hip-hop. I'll also say that anyone can dance and bob their heads to an awesome beat, flow, and musical rhythm. Moving on, I have to say that Korean hip-hop is benefiting from the K-pop wave. So as many of you K-popers know, K-pop is one of the first big cultural exports that Korea brought onto the world and became very popular. And as K-pop fans became even more accustomed to Korean music, some took it even further and started exploring Korean hip-hop and indie music. Other fans were first exposed to Korean hip-hop through collaborations with K-pop idols. Whichever way that these K-popers were introduced to Korean hip-hop, they wanted more. And a lot of international Hallyu fans were dying, not just for K-pop, but for anything Korean related overseas. And thus Korean hip-hop, whether knowingly or not, attached itself to the Hallyu wave and became more in demand. And as mentioned earlier, the music reality shows Unpretty Rapstar and Show Me the Money further popularized hip-hop within the K-pop community. Moving on, people really respect Illionaire Records for going against the grain and going against the K-pop model while being independent. Illionaire Records, despite being a small company, is one of the most influential hip-hop labels today in Korea. One of the biggest reasons is they seemingly do everything opposite that K-pop labels do. They actually give the artists power. And that's really unheard of with any K-pop label unless you're a huge group or a powerful solo singer like BeWhy. Just to illustrate how successful Illionaire Records is, Doki's a millionaire as a hip-hop artist, which generally have a harder time making money than like K-pop labels. He's known to have a lot of cars, have a lot of jewelry, and own a ton of Jordans. So with that, let's talk about the Illionaire record model. Doki and The Quiet, the two co-CEOs of Illionaire Records, basically said, we don't want to be controlled. We want to be our own masters, and we want to be our own bosses. So they decided to give every artist under their umbrella, including themselves, complete freedom. So when rising star Bin Jin-ho started getting a lot of offers from various companies to join him, he ultimately chose Illionaire Records for their complete freedom. And even he was surprised at first just how much freedom he was given. In fact, there are no contracts at Illionaire Records, and other than giving back 10 to 20% of your profits, the rest go to you. So if you make money off CDs, concerts, TV appearances, advertisements, other than like 10 to 20% that you give back to the company, you pretty much get the entire rest of the cut. And that's pretty much unheard of in K-pop labels. And unlike pretty much every other K-pop company, there are no like overhead or extra salaries to pay. In fact, Illionaire Record only has, I believe, one PR person that they pay to do all their, promotional stuff and overseas stuff. But other than the PR PR guy is pretty much just the 3 artists. In addition, they have a meager office, they don't really dabble in fancy offices, and they do much of their work at home creating music. I would say that Illionaire Records is pretty much just like independent startup, this DIY company, and it's very successful. Bingino was also amazed that the label doesn't force him to take anything he doesn't want to take. So for instance, if he's asked to go on a promotion or advertisement or TV show, he can say yes or no, and he won't get punished for it. He won't be looked down upon by the other two, Doki and the Quiet. Nothing happens. It just, okay, you rejected it because you have complete freedom as an artist at that label. And he was really thankful that he had that freedom. And The Quiet pretty much sums up the best way possible between the differences of Illionaire Records and K-pop labels, where he basically says that in K-pop labels, the profits first go to the CEOs, the managers, and any staff. Then it goes to the artist last, however much money there is left to split among the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, if not more members of a group. You don't have to be a math major to see that K-pop stars are going to be paid a pittance after all that division of money gets trickled down to them. A lot of overseas Koreans I talked to, as well as international Korean students studying in San Francisco, actually knew about the story and said they really respected Illionaire for pretty much going against the K-pop model and becoming successful as an independent company. And my final point is that Illionaire Records is an underdog story, and as you guys know, people love underdog stories. For being such a small indie label in the hip-hop niche, the label's churned out top 10 hits on music charts online. Hits such as Bingino's Dolly Von Picasso and Multillionaire are just some of the huge successful hits that this label spawned off. Doki was also nominated at the 2015 and 2016 Mama Music Awards for his songs Me and Illusion. Was done without any major promotion or a backing by any major K-pop label or without oodles of resources. Pretty much they were self-made and had huge success in the hip-hop niche. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video of the invasion of Korean hip-hop in the US and what it was like being at the Illionaire Ambition San Francisco US tour. So what do you guys think about this video? Are you guys hip-hop fans? Are you guys Illionaire fans or Ambition music fans? I'd love to know your comments in the comments below. And if you guys want my free ebook on what it was like being a foreign K-pop journalist in Seoul and my wacky crazy adventures in K-pop concerts, please sign up for my free email list below and get that free ebook. So with that being said, I'm off to watch some more music videos, but I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy, guys.